Hi again, and it is actually 25 past 11 now, and I just watched the video that I just did, and there actually is an important message in there, even if it's just for myself, and and that is about the human error again, and being human comes with, sort of making errors, because it's in errors that you actually learn so much. So that was the message again that came through quite prominent again, on the good enough, which is something which seems to be a theme for me since I started thinking about doing this. And it's more than thinking, actually. It is very much like a force that I need to be doing this. What for remains to be seen. But the good enough theme is what, Rayla Hope is going to be about mostly, is getting people to start seeing the core of being good enough. People don't need outside influences to be good enough. You can be drawn to certain things, and that's all part of learning. But it's the attachment that you place on these learnings that I believe are causing so much conflict and the world's demise, or the planet, or however you look at life, or your human existence, or it's whatever you put on it, whatever you want to term it, And I do believe, again, that I'm saying you know a lot, and what I should be saying is I know that I'm good enough, and in that maybe the message in itself, I'm not sure yet, but I've attached to so many different learnings over the years that have influenced my life in a very positive way, because it's helped other people, and the tools that I've sort of gained, which are really beneficial to my interactions with others, I wouldn't for a second, sort of put in a ditch, because they are so vital to where I've actually come. So even though I'm saying you don't need this outside influence as such, it's about the attachment to it, and I think that's the key, is how attached you become to mediumship, how attached you become to spirituality, how attached you become to religions, whether that's Muslims, whether that's Christianity, Buddhist, whatever form of thing that you find yourself, the path you walk on is great, but it's just a path, it's something that you experience, and you watch and you observe and you see this and you feel this, and the core of you gets to see what that way of life and that way of being could be. But it's the striving for perfection, and it's the attachment to the perfection, to be better than. I think this is part and parcel of what all this driving force within me is trying to sort of portray to myself, even, or to someone who will find something in these videos that might connect. It's one of those things. I found myself at this strange place. I've never ever been here before. I've always been sort of looking for something external. I've always been looking for something. Like I've said, I've got a vast range of culturally different people in my world. And I like it that way, because I am such an integrative person. Sort of my Muslim friends can teach me something. My pagan friends can teach me something. My different sort of ethnical groups of friends can teach me something. My homosexual friends, my lesbian friends, my bisexual friends. My circle is so vast, and it is such an eye-opening experience to see life this way, but not be so rooted in any one thing that I become part of that thing, because I'm good enough. The core of me is good enough to stand alone in isolation, and 1 foot in but 1 foot out. And I accept every single one of the people that have come through my life the ones that I've worked with, the people that I've interacted with socially, my friends and acquaintances and work colleagues, because I've learned from every single one of them, and every one of them has taught me something, because my life has all been about learning that has brought me to this place. But what I'm a bit weary of is the fact that people are in such a... life is becoming... Oh, that's something that's come up again, so I'll just knock that off. That's just another reminder. Where was I? Oh, with regards to sort of how life is at the minute. And life is so precious. It is just so precious. And we're only here for a short time, you know, and it's how we experience that short time is the important aspect of what we get from it and what we take to whatever's next. I just find it so daunting how people can focus on one thing, and the power of belief, the power that they put into that one thing, makes it their reality. I was listening to Teal Swan earlier, and I got to be honest, I find her quite amazing, and her whole outlook on life and the spiritual vibration, I totally get that. I totally understand it. But again, there's aspects of her that doesn't fit with me. One of her videos that I watched earlier was actually on a psychic attack, and if you believe it or not. And I remember going to a medium, and I didn't actually go to this medium to have a reading. She was a friend of a friend, and I was actually visiting her with regards to sort of ideas on how to sort of take a spiritual idea I had a good few years ago. And she was quite intimidating in the sense that she was almost trying to scare me. And this control aspect of her spiritual mediumship, it didn't actually scare me, but what it did do was it made me look at how maybe mediumship and spirituality and stuff like that is just another way to control. But we have the control. You know, the core of us is good enough. So we have the control. I could have come from that situation feeling quite scared and intimidated, that people would possibly, you know, sort of want to psychically attack me. Had I been on that energy, had I been on that place where I would allow that. And I think I actually said to her at the time, yeah, that's all well and good, but you have to believe that someone can actually do that to you for it to happen to you, which she did actually agree with. And the fact that I thought about it for a bit longer than I should have actually, did make me think that maybe there was some truth in there. But the truth is that there was no truth in there. The only truth in it was that my thinking was going to make it so. Yes, you encounter people that are not very nice, you know, or you may see them as not very nice, but the truth is that's their experiences. So what they put out there is actually mirroring back to themselves. Because as I said, I do believe that life is all about mirrors and reflections. So what you experience is part of who you really truly are, or part of what you were trying to work through, or maybe some unconscious stuff. You know, if you talk of it from an academic point of view, a theoretical theory point of view, you know, maybe it's, you know, Freudian, and it's unconscious that you're trying to work through. But everything has to have a name. You know, people, I can't understand why the human race has to put a title on everything. You know, I find that quite frustrating. I really do find that quite frustrating, that everything has to have a title, everything has to have a place, somebody has to fit in some way, somebody has to be part of a flock, you know? God, that is so frustrating. And I want to shake people sometimes, and I'm like, but just be yourself, just, you know, just be you. And you were just good enough, you were fine. You know, fine is not a word I use, because in the therapy point of view, I would use the word fine and it'd be fed up, insecure, neurotic and emotional. And I've used that quite a lot. But it is all right. But again, from a therapy point of view, that isn't a word I'd use to describe what it is. But I just find it so frustrating that our time here is so limited. We haven't got that much time to sort of play with and learn in this life that we're experiencing now. I mean, I'm not saying I don't know that we may not come back and experience another one if we haven't learned it. It all depends what you believe in. I just believe in the power of a belief. And if I believe that, you know, what I don't learn in this life, I'll come back and learn in another life, then that's what my life will experience and what my death will experience, or moving on from this planet onto another planet. Who knows? I certainly don't at this point. And I don't confess to be a professional in any field other than a professional in my own life and my own experiences, because I am good enough. And I think that's what I'm trying to sort of get across, is the fact that people don't need to fit in. We were all born to sort of stand out in our own right, you know. We're all unique, we're all individual, you know, we are all amazing in our own experiences. What every single human being could teach you something, you know, if you were just open-minded and open to the experience and what they're going to give you and what they could teach you. But so many people are just so closed-minded about life. It's got to fit into this square, otherwise it's not happening at all, or it's got to fit into this circle, or, you know, you are not part of us, you are not this circle. Crazy world we live in, crazy. But again, I'm focusing on this good enough, and every single human being is unique, wonderful, amazing, and has so much to offer. If you let down that fear, you know, I know, I keep saying again, you know, as if I'm confirming to myself, I know every human being, and so many people have passed through my hands over the years that I couldn't have been on the path that I have and come out with nothing, and experienced some really traumatic stuff with people and in my own personal life. Because my professional life is one thing, but my personal life is just, my professional life is just an addition to my personal life and my experiences. And that is so amazing, because I know I'm amazing. I know I'm pretty damn good. I'm a special person for just being me, because I'm good enough. And I don't strive to be perfect. I don't need to fit in. I don't need to look like art painting. I don't need to be anything other than Vicky or Rayla Hope, however this is all going to come across. And that's the important thing that I want to try and portray, is that you're good enough. Everybody is good enough. And it's like 20 to 12 now, so I really need to think about going to bed, because that last video woke me up, but I'm starting to feel tired again. So I'm going to say, be happy, be good enough, and good night.